Hello everyone, I'm Wanda Berlianti Lotus with the student number 21130420221 and I am from English Department 2021 Class A. So, in this video, I would like to explain about 7 videos analysis. So, without any further ado, let us jump to the first video. This is the first video that we're going to discuss. The title is Bus Stop. So, for the first discussion, let us discuss about what is actually this movie talking about. So, this movie is talking about a man who is dreaming in the car that is struggle to get a bus at the bus stop because his car is broke, so he wants to go home actually, but his car is broke, like that. And then the next things that I am going to discuss, actually this movie is not truly talking about a man who is dreaming in the car. So based on my opinion and understanding after watching this movie, actually this movie has another message that wants to deliver to the audience. So what are they? For the first, this movie shows that we as a human will always get a problem, and having a problem is not a bad thing. The second, the problem that we are facing will find the solution. Either good or bad solution we have, it will bring us to a freedom. The third, this movie is also telling the audience to always keep on going, although what we have done are not in line with our expectation. And the last, facing the problem calmly and always be patient are the key. Next, if you are watching this movie, you will know what is the genre of this movie. So the genre of this movie is comedy actually. And I have a special notes in this movie, so I made this note because of this movie looks so special. So this movie looks special because it is made by collaboration between two photographers that have never done film, one of the actor who has never stood in front of the camera, and a random idea that two best friends had during the corona lockdown. So if you are watching a short movie, we will always get a moral value, a moral message. So what is the moral value of this movie? The moral value of the movie is that we as a human who will always have problems must realize how important our behavior while facing the problem. Be calm, be patient, and never give up are the 3 important lessons that we have to keep in mind. Always remember that behind a problem, there will always be a good impact for our life in the future. So, the conclusion that I can give to this movie is that everyone will always know what it is like to have a bad day. We all catch ourselves way too often thinking, today sucks, or why it must be me. We all probably know that most of the time the only thing we need to do to feel better is to take a few deep breaths to reset our mind to calm down. Yeah, so this is the second video or short movie that we're going to discuss. So, what is this movie actually talking about? This movie is talking about a housekeeper at the hotel who learned about the lives of her guests through the things they left behind. However, when she develops a crush on a charming hotel patron on a long-term business trip, the lines between personal and professional become blurred. So, for the genre of this movie is drama or thriller. If you are watching this video, maybe you will agree with my statement, or maybe you have another statement about what the housekeeper has done. So based on my opinion, what the housekeeper has done in the movie is really wrong. She should be able to control herself she should not to put her feelings to her guest until she blind and doing a crazy thing. Just finish the job, then do other things that is not included to the job desk at the hotel as a housekeeper outside. That the thing that the housekeeper should do. So, from this video we can catch the moral value. We as a worker or even in everyday situation should be able to put ourselves in a certain place. Be professional is needed. Define what should be done in the place and set aside other things that doesn't have any sense to it. So, the conclusion that I can give to this movie is that what kind of job that we are going to do later, we have to be professional. We have to know how to position ourselves by distinguishing between personal and work matters. In our work, we should not prioritize personal feelings, but we must be able to work in the name of professionalism. After all, we will be able to lead our daily lives properly and, of course, in balanced situation. The third video that we're going to discuss, the title is New Boy. What is the movie is talking about? This movie is talking about a young African boy with a handbag who starts school in Ireland and finds out quickly exactly what it means to be the new kid. So in this movie, actually I found a conflict. The problem that exists in the film is when the new child has difficulty adapting to friends at his new school, as well as the attitude of his friends who initially cannot accept him well. So, how does the problem can be solved? The problems they experience can be resolved when they both can accept each other. Actually, I found some strengths from this movie. Those are: first, it is about the content of the story. The story told in this film is very related to the actual situation of the children at school. Their inability to adapt either to the environment or to their friends. Second, the film is presented with an unusual plot. There are fragments from other scenes as a form of explanation of the situation being faced by the main character. That's a very interesting thing for me. The third, the topic of stories about racism like this as usually racist stories about adults in politics or other fields. What makes the difference is that the author succeeds in bringing the topic to a child. It also proves that actually those who get unfair treatment are not only adults but children too. So, what is the moral value of this movie? As the audience, I can get a moral value from this movie. What makes us different from other people is not a reason for us to be unkind. Mutual acceptance of each other can be what we should do, although adapting to something new is not easy. But by trying, we will surely be able to get used to it. The conclusion is that the new boy, who may be physically different from their other friends in the class at first, find it difficult to adapt to the others. The other students also have not been able to accept the child properly. However, as many things happened and were faced, they were finally able to accept and respect each other. This film also has a good storyline with a very interesting presentation. There are several points that shows the strength of this film, like what I have explained before. Okay, let's jump to the next video. So this is the video that we're going to discuss. The title is The Crest. Actually, this is my favorite short movie ever. So let's start to discuss it. First, what is this movie talking about? This movie tells a story of a 6-year-old boy who likes his own teacher. However, when at first he was very determined to be able to marry his teacher, in the end, he decided to stop and no longer try to continue his determination. So, the question is, why does the child stop to love her teacher? So he decided to not to love and marry his teacher because he was aware of the words that had been conveyed by a man who had previously become the future husband of his teacher. That he was just a child who was not yet financially secure. He also has not been able to provide what the teacher needs. Until the end, he decided to stop and pray that his teacher could find a much better man and the one who could make her happy. I really have interest with this child because he has a very unique characteristic. He is a child who has great determination about something. He is also a brave boy. He can keep his promises and he is also a very nice person actually. But I found some weaknesses from this movie. For the first, during the part where this child is about to shoot the man who is the future husband of his teacher, the camera that is shooting looks unstable, so that it is clear that there is a disturbing shock. So the second, the lighting in the same section as before also looks too bright, even though the place used is a place where there should not be that much light coming in. So it should be a little, dimmer. So the moral message that we can get from this movie is that having determination and high fighting power to pursue dreams or things that have been planned before is a very good thing. However, still looking at one's own capacity for what we want to achieve must also be a consideration that must and is important to do. The conclusion from this movie is that it tells a story of a 6-year-old boy who initially likes and is determined to marry his own teacher, but for some reasons he decided to stop. There are also several advantages and disadvantages of this movie which can be used as a material for audiences' evaluation of the quality of the video itself. As for the things we can take as a form of learning, that is, we must have a strong determination to achieve what we have planned. But more than that, by looking at the capacity that is within us as well as the things that are necessary and important to do. So this is the next video that we're going to discuss. The title is The Attendant. So what is this movie talking about? This movie tells about an attendant who has a very good co-worker. Until the end, he told his friend that everything could be changed. So what is the conflict of the video? The conflict of the movie is when his friend has a problem where her husband hasn't found a job yet. The moral value that the audience get from the movie is in living life, we will definitely be faced with difficult and happy situation. Everyone has their own portion and time. All you have to do is be patient and always keep trying. The conclusion of this movie, whatever happens to us as a human who live life, we will definitely be faced not only with happy and easy situation, but we'll also face difficult situations that sometimes make us stressed and confused. However, the thing we need to remember is that each of us will definitely benefit from what we have faced. There will be a time for people who have bad difficulties to feel ease and happiness. Also, vice versa. Stay, be patient, and keep trying are two important things that we must instill in ourselves. So, this is the next video. The title is A Glimpse. What is the movie talking about? This movie tells of a young man and a girl who share stories about their respective activities, while the man imagines his future life with the woman. In this movie, I saw some strengths. Those are, first, there are several snapshots of the future shadows of the male character in this movie. This make this movie look different and very interesting to watch, for me, in my point of view. The second, in the footage of the shadow of the future, the man is deliberately not given dialogues, so that the audience can still hear their conversation in the coffee shop where they are talking. It also makes the audience understand what kind of situation they are talking about and what kind of future that the man imagines. The last, the acting played by the actors and actresses in this movie is also very good. They deeply lived their respective roles. This is an added value of the film because the story and message to be conveyed can be conveyed properly. So, what is the moral message that we can get from this movie? So, the thing that we can make a lesson is when we get to know and establish a relationship with someone, it's good that we imagine the possibility of what could happen in the future. However, just imagining it is correct, still communicating with our partner is also necessary, so that we do not take conclusion and decisions only from our own perspective. So we have to see from another perspective too. The conclusion that I can make from this movie is that what is told in this movie is actually very related to our lives as a young people, living a love story that starts to get complicated and many doubts when getting acquainted, busy pursuing a career and others. This movie really raises the appropriate topic and often occurs by bringing a good message, namely to think about the future with all its bad things first before we choose and cause us to choose wrongly. So, this is maybe become the last video that we're going to discuss. The title is The Darkest Blue. What is this movie talking about? This movie tells about the struggle of a woman in pursuing her dream to become an artist through her skill, which is painting. However, only his mother gave her encouragement when everyone could only look down on her and think that artwork was a lowly thing. So actually, what are the difficulties that this woman faced? This woman went through so much trouble. One of the difficulties is that she has to fend for herself to become a reliable painter. Furthermore, she has difficulty getting money from the works she has made, and many people do not want to help with her financial situation because they see that her work doesn't guarantee that she will be able to return the loan that will be given from others. Her mother also sick, so the situation makes her confused. So, actually, what does the darkest blue mean? Based on my opinion, the darkest blue from the title of this movie has a meaning is that like it is a sign of what her feelings and also a place where she will end her life. As we can see in the movie, she passed away in the sea which she has drawn before. It is so tragic. What is the moral message that we can get from this movie? So, we should not belittle anything, including other people's work. Apart from that, providing support to other people who are in the process or having difficulty is also something we should do to that person. In a sense, caring is important. So I think that's all that I can explain to you all, guys. So if you have another statement from the movie that I have analyzed before, or you have any comment, suggestion, critic, or anything else, you can write down on the comment box. So let me know about your opinion too. I am so sorry if I do some mistakes, and I hope you can understand my explanation well. That's all from me. Thank you and goodbye.